Hello, good morning, and first of all, thanks for inviting me. So, the talk is about cat and mouse game with Sucuri web application Firewall. So, I suppose most of you guys have a background in security or have interest in security, that's why you are here. So, and I hope you will enjoy it. So basically, Sucuri is a cloud-based web application firewall, and the idea is very good. Basically, you don't have to integrate this firewall into the application. Just point your DNS setting to this proxy, and they will protect against basic attacks like cross-site scripting, SQL injection, DOS, and the cost is only $9 per month. It seems something is better than nothing. Having a protection against common attacks in $9, it's not bad basically. And I was informed by the makers of this WAF that within few months they have around 10,000 customers, because they are targeting small and medium businesses, and that's why they are getting popularity. So $9 WAF, a Sucuri. Wow. But pizza is more expensive than this WAF. Pizza costs $10, $15 many times. So actually the credit goes to my colleague. He had given me an idea, okay, let's compare this WAF with the pizza, because the WAF is cheaper than the pizza. So, before starting, who am I? Basically, I am currently working as a pen tester for Hyundai Autoever Europe GmbH. We are basically an IT service company that provides services to Hyundai and Kia Motor Group. And I am creating troubles for the developers all the time. So, often developers ask me, Ashar, when you are going for vacation. So before that, I was a web security researcher and a PhD candidate in Ruhr University, Bochum, Germany. I had submitted my PhD thesis, which is under submission, and I hope within the few months my defense is expected. So previously, I was a speaker in Black Hat, DeepSec. Last year, I was here at a web stream also. This year I got invited to talk at SAP Internal Product Security Conference. So at the same time, my name has been listed in all the Hall of Fames that include 11 times in Google Security Hall of Fame. So I tweeted this handle, and right now I am using the online version. The slides are available online, and I tweeted about that. Feel free to retweet it. Feel free to comment anything. So basically, this talk is about a bug file in HackerOne. So Sucuri had a bug bounty program, and I found a bug in HackerOne. The bug title was WAF protection rule bypasses exemplified in cross-site scripting. So the bug is still not public, because I'm not sure they will make it public or not, but the presentation is public now. Everything is in the presentation. So the story starts by reading a blog post published on 25th of April by Rafe Baloch. Rafe is one of my friends, and he is based in Pakistan. I am also from Pakistan. He wrote a blog on 25th of April, and in his blog he had shown us one bypass, Sucuri WAF accesses filter bypass. Okay, I read the story. I liked Twitter, I saw the tweet, and I read this post. Throughout the blog post, he was trying to hide the URL. At that time, I do not know there is something called Sucuri. On 25th of April, I don't know. But there is a WAF called Sucuri. I have no idea about that. I got an idea by reading the post. And throughout the post, he was trying to hide the URL that he was using to test Sucuri. But he made one innocent mistake in his blog post. At one time, basically, at one place, he forgot to hide the URL that is behind Sucuri WAF. So for me, it's enough. Now I know that this is the website who is behind that WAF. Now I can test that WAF. So I informed him and he said, oh, I missed it. I will fix it then. But it's too late. Now I can see the website which is behind this WAF, and it got me a chance to look at this WAF. But before officially starting testing Sucuri, I also saw this tweet. He tweeted that the most event handlers are blocked. Okay. The next question came to my mind, really? Are they really blocked? Okay. This is the first bypass. Because he said that event handlers are not working. Okay, I said, okay, why? They should work. So this is bypass, basically very simple. I'm using an H2 tag, heading tag with an ID called, say, let's call it IM heading, and then on mouse over perform 1, it works. This is the first bypass, success, cross-site scripting. So second, I hear during that time, once that blog post was up, people was talking about that, people are tweeting about that, discussing about that. So I saw something that the eval and the prompt, the two basic functions that we use for a cross-site scripting proof of concept, someone had written that they are blocked also. So here in this bypass, you are seeing both. You will see eval, you will see prompt. But see what I did. P is a paragraph, a simple tag. If you have a background in HTML and you know that P is an ID. In the ID, instead of having a P, a hard-coded prompt, I use the Unicode encoder basically, \U0070. It's basically P prompt. And then on mouse over is equal to, because eval is also blocked, because they have a hard-coded list of blacklisted words basically. They only look at eval, but they are not looking at \0065, which is also an eval in JavaScript context. So this is the second bypass. So these are some known facts about WAF. If we know about WAF, this is the first thing that came to our mind. So these are known facts. Someone is trying to have a barrier, someone is trying to protect, but people are putting it out. Another video I really like about WAF is basically this one. I would like to. This is amazing basically. This is WAF bypass. So this is, we know basically about WAF. And but what we do not know about WAF is this one. So normally people inform you that they participated in a WAF context. Okay, the vendors run everything, they bypass everything, and at the end of the day they got a fucking t-shirt. But in that case, it's not a t-shirt. I got dollars basically. They rewarded me for finding all the bypasses. They are great guys basically in that sense, because they take security seriously. If I was reporting something, they were rewarding me at that time. And the credit goes to this guy. He is the founder of Sucuri, and he provided me a URL, internal URL, because at that time I informed him it does not make sense that I test your WAF on a third-party website. It does not make sense. So give me some internal URL so that it would be great for the testing. He provided me the URL and he fixed all the bypasses that I will show in this presentation. So regarding cross-site scripting bypasses of Sucuri, there is no rocket science. Just stick to the basics. Find allowable patterns for an XSS vector construction. What does it mean? For example, when I started testing this WAF for cross-site scripting, I found that H2 on mouse over alert 1 is not working at that time. But if you will use an ID attribute before on mouse over, so suddenly it starts working. It's called an allowable pattern. The only thing you have to observe during testing, which patterns are allowed. Second, you have to identify blacklisted tags, attributes, hard-coded list of event handlers. Basically, in my personal observation, this is a basic design flaw. They have a hard-coded list of blacklisted tags, blacklisted attributes, blacklisted event handlers. I think in reality this will not work. Use simple encoding tricks for WAF rules and there is no 0 day. For me it was a fun and it was a paid exercise during my free time. and over the weekends. This is the third bypass. In this bypass, the only interesting thing is that I am using %26 instead of ampersand and. Why? Because if you will attack Sucuri WAF, and if your input vector or your attack vector contains AND sign, they stop processing. They immediately stop processing by looking at AND. But what if I URL encode AND? It starts working. For the browser, it's okay. Just WAF is a proxy sitting in front of the web application. So, and that WAF is looking at AND. Okay, make it %26, make it a URL encode. It will bypass the WAF rule. But once it lands inside the website, it becomes AND and it starts working. So here is the number 4th bypass. This basically works in old IE browsers. In this case, you will see there is an h2 tag, ID, nothing, name, nothing, just an empty style with expression. Basically, in that case, I executed JavaScript using dynamic CSS expressions, and the way I used is with :expression \28 alert \28 1 because it's just a proof of concept. Last year, when I was here at this same place, I had shown this methodology, how to attack style context. If you see, for example, if you are testing some application and your input reflects back, you throw some input and it reflects back in the style attribute, then how to attack, how you can find cross-site scripting in that case. It's basically a 4-step process. The first step is with :expression simple alert 1 in the function in brackets. This is blocked. When I throw the first step, this was blocked by Sucuri. They know that with expression is a potential way to execute a cross-site scripting. They blocked it. This was a part of their blacklist. The next point. Sometime, in fact, in my observation many times, because developers are not security aware. I am sorry to say, if developers are here, don't mind this. Security is not your job basically. So developers are security unaware. They can develop eye-candy websites. They can do their job in a time constraints under the business requirements, but they are not security aware. They don't have a security background. Sometimes they use the hard-coded expression as a part of blacklisted word. Okay, hey, if we will see expression in the input attack vector, okay, block it. But in Internet Explorer old version, if you will use multi-line comment /* inside the word expression, as you see in the second part of this methodology, this will bypass their rule because they are only looking at expression. Here they will not find expression because ex then /*. But for the browser it's okay. Browser will simply ignore this one, and once it lands in the browser, it will execute. So, but Sucuri is also looking at it. They blocked this thing also. The third step. The third step is basically I hex encoded colon. If you will see in the first step with colon, in the second step also with colon, but in the third step you will not see colon. You will see hexadecimal notation of the colon. You can also use decimal notation also, decimal encoding also. This is hex encoding. And in that way you can bypass, but I told you earlier that as soon as they saw AND in the input attack vector, they stop processing. They have a parser written, it stops processing. It means that the third step is also not working. It brings me to the fourth step. The fourth step is basically making use of CSS escaping. So you, instead of having a small parenthesis, you can use \, you can escape. It's called here you will see \28. It means a small left parenthesis. And so this basically bypasses Sucuri. So they don't know about that. This is a potential way also. Now they are blocking it also. So recently I tweeted about this vector. It's basically a lot of stuff in this vector. It will bypass a lot of filters basically if you will try it. Just try it on your website. So it's basically P style, and lot of CSS escaping is inside this style attribute. You will see \0a, \0b. What is \0a? Is line feed, vertical tab. So just to evade filters, you can have many variation of CSS escaping. Okay, this is the number 5th bypass. There is nothing new in this bypass. The only thing is that just to fool the parser, because they have a parser that looks at the input attack vector. What I did as a part of attribute of class is an attribute, is equal to, and in single quote it has a value. The value is greater than. So the parser thinks, okay, oh, tag close, but in fact it's nothing. No matter you will write greater than, less than as a part of value, it has nothing, it's just a value. So just to fool this parser, I used greater than sign, and it resulted in XSS. So here in this case, because it's a cat and mouse game, I was finding bypasses, they were fixing it. I reported them, they fixed it. Then I found a new way. It's all the time the game is running. So I realized that they are looking at parentheses also. If they find that after any event handler name, and they will see small parentheses. Normally, if you know about cross-site scripting, normally we guys, as a proof of concept, we use alert one, confirm one, prompt one. They all make use of the small brackets. So if they see small brackets after any event handler, they simply blocked it. But what I did here, I used backtick instead of parentheses. Firefox and Chrome Canary browser, they support this. This is basically ECMAScript 6 notation, and you can use backtick instead of parentheses. It perfectly works in browsers, and it bypasses their protection also. So here is the number 7 bypass. What's interesting in it, basically, as I told you that in my personal opinion, they have some design flaws, because they, if I am reporting something, they are taking only that attack vector into consideration and added that stuff into the blacklist. For example, now they start realizing, okay, there is an alert one, okay, block it. There is a confirm one, block it. Okay, you can block it, but they don't know at that time that if I use a language attribute, and in the language attribute the value is VB script instead of JavaScript. The language is VB script, and on mouse over I can use now input box +1 as a proof of concept, because they don't know about that. They will now add about that because they realize about this. So this is cat and mouse game basically. In this case, this is interesting basically. Okay, you block confirm, you block alert, but I will use confirm also. How? On mouse over, if you will closely observe this thing, on mouse over is equal to ID is an attribute, is equal to, you will see 2 forward slashes, and inside these 2 forward slashes there is written CONFIR, confer. This is not confirmed. I had written CONFIR, but after the forward slash there is dot source. This is basically regular expression object, dot source. What it returns? It returns what is inside these 2 slashes. What is inside these 2 slashes? Confirm. Confirm, confer, then there is plus sign. Plus is a concatenation, string. Now I added M letter. It becomes confirm. And just in order to add alert 1 or to show 1, I added 1 also. The whole string after having a concatenation will be assigned to ID attribute, and the ID attribute will be assigned to on mouse over. Okay, and then the next step, on mouse down, if you somebody press mouse down, then there is eval. Eval is a function that it will evaluate, that will evaluate ID, and what is inside the ID? Confirm one. So it resulted in a bypass. Okay, no matter you will block alert, you will block confirm, there is a way. So another why, because as I told you that they are using hard-coded on mouse, because they know about on mouse over, they blocked it, but they forgot about on mouse up, a new event handler. they forgot about on mouse enter. It's just an exercise for me. Okay, and in that case, two new event handlers on mouse leave. It's very hard. They don't know. One cannot easily figure out the total number of event handlers that different browsers support. Okay, at this time I got a message on HackerOne and the founder of Sucuri, who is fixing all these bypasses, informed me, hey Ashar, we patched everything. We patched all your on mouse variation. They are no more working now. Okay, I said, okay, good. Okay, what's next? Okay, mouse is blocked. Our mouse is gone. But keyboard is here. Okay, let's use keyboard. Okay, but how to use keyboard? This is the problem. Problem is that how to use it, how to force keyboard event handlers. HTML5 provides you a property called content editable. You can make any content editable. Once the content becomes editable, you can use keyboard. Okay, these are the three new bypasses. What they have, if you will closely observe, content editable true, and then on key down, content editable true, then on key press, and then on key up. So three new bypasses with the help of keyboard now. But the problem is that I want to earn more money. Keyboard has only three events: on key up, on key down, on key press. They're gone. Now what's next? Now what you will do, if mouse events are blocked, also keyboard events, what will be your answer? If anyone is interested in giving any idea, how, for example, you have a challenge, you are testing this thing, you see, okay, on mouse variations are gone, on key variations are gone, what you will do next, how you will think? Anyone interested in giving any answers?
Set timeout.
Set timeout, but how you will force, how will you make use of that? Yeah, it's a potential way. I agree on that, set timeout. Okay, here's an answer. HTML5 provides you an attribute called draggable. On mouse events were gone, on keyboard events were gone, but there are other events draggable. But how to make use them? You can use this property, draggable. See, three new bypasses. Here, draggable attribute is true. Then I start using on drag start, on drag leave, on drag enter. So three more bypasses in that way. Just you have to identify, you have to think what is the right way. So I will not show you everything because you will be getting bored then. So from number 19 to number 33, I started making use of these event handlers because these were not part of their blacklist. On blur, on resize, on context menu. For you can, if you are a student, you can take it as an exercise. Just try to make sample XSS vectors making use of these event handlers. You will learn something. But this is the next question. Is it possible to execute one of the blacklisted tags? This I set a challenge for myself. Okay, it's a cat and mouse game. They are blocking event handlers. I found new event handler. Okay, it will continue. It will continue forever. But the question is that, can I execute a blacklisted tag script? A script tag. For example, if you want to protect your website and you're not security aware, you know about script. Okay, I will not allow a script. Definitely in your protection, script is a part of it. Initial probe. Okay, I wanted to execute a script. So how I probe it? First I input only script. I saw and I got a message, hey, cloud proxy access denied. Then I use a script %20, which is space source, again access denied. Then instead of %20, I use slash, hard-coded slash, which is also a valid separator between a tag name and an attribute. Again access denied. Okay, let's see. Thanks to this guy Masato Kinugawa, he's a Chinese researcher, I think. He made a list of different characters that can potentially be used as a valid separator. Normally what we know is only about slash or only about space. But at the same time, these characters like 0x, 09, 0b, they are specific to IE, 0x28 specific to Chrome. So these are the different characters. He made a list of the different characters that you can use as a valid separator, because if you want to execute something, you should have a tag and you should have an attribute. But how to separate them? You can use these different characters also instead of a space. If the related write-up link is here, you can read this write-up. Slides are online already. But so far I failed in executing because these all variations are not working. They blocked it. Sucuri knows about that, they're blocking it. But my goal is to execute a script tag. Okay, so far I failed. But there must be a way. There must be a way. It's not possible there is no way. There must be a way. It's the only thing you have to find it. Here is the answer. %2f. In their blacklist, they are looking at slash. If they found a script, slash, they blocked it. But if I URL encode slash, what will happen? It will bypass their rule. It will go to the browser, it will go to the application, and once it led inside the application, the %2f becomes slash, and it's a valid separator. So as soon as I found %2f, lot of stuff starts working. Here you see, down below there is an attack vector that is using a script %2f, source, a script coming from my test bed of coming from a third-party URL is executing inside the application that has a Sucuri protection. Basically, I was able to execute a script tag with the help of this %2f. With %2f, a lot of stuff starts working, like style, %2f, onload, even though onload was part of their blacklist, but they are not expecting that one can use %2f before onload inside the parser. They are not expecting it. It starts working. So body on page show, these are different examples. More bypasses, like here in that case I used body on before print. Here I used SVG image onload. With all these, all are using %2f. So you can see in the slides. The marquee tag %2f on starts is also working. Here, yeah, this is another basic encoding trick basically. As I informed you earlier, the Sucuri is based on blacklisted stuff. They have a blacklisted word called JavaScript. JavaScript, normally we can use JavaScript URI also as an attack vector, as a proof of concept. For example, you can write a tag, href attribute, JavaScript :alert1, click a tag close. It will result in an alert1. But JavaScript is blocked. What I did here, they are blocking JavaScript. But what I did, I take the decimal form of t in JavaScript and in the letter t. The decimal encoding is basically and number sign 116 is equivalent to t. But the problem is that as soon as they find and, they stop processing. What's next? I URL encode and, it becomes %26. And URL encode number sign, it becomes %23. So the attack vector, or instead of using t character, what I did, I used %26, %23, 116. It's basically equivalent to t. And it bypasses the WAF, but it's land inside the browser, it will result in an XSS. Another thing, but this time instead of decimal encoding, I use hex encoding of t. The hex encoding of t is 0074. So, but and number sign are blocked. So I use %26 for and number sign for %23. It works there. So another bypass is basically what I did is specific to IE browser. Is similar to JavaScript :alert1. You can use VB script :alert1 also as a proof of concept. So in IE browser, you can hex encode colon also. VB script colon. Instead of having a hard code colon, you can encode it. So these are the simple encoding tricks that I use here. This is interesting basically. Imagine I am reporting all these issues. on the receiving end you are fixing all these variations. Suddenly it becomes harder and harder, because as soon as you are blocking all these variations, it becomes harder and harder to bypass. And at one time I realized, this is basically a very interesting stuff. I realized that Sucuri does not allow 7 characters after an event handler. What does it mean? For example, if I use any event handler on mouse over, on mouse leave, is equal to, then I write a digit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Until 7 the digits appear. But as soon as I write 8, it got blocked. It means they have some checks in their parser. Okay, as soon as we will find more than 7 characters, we will block it. But why they are doing this? Why 7 characters? Because they know alert 1 has 8 characters, confirm 1 has 10 characters, prompt 1 has 9 characters. But we need 7. They are only allowing 7 characters. More than 7, everything is blocked. In old IE browser, there is a trick where you can use that type of stuff. Basically, it's an iframe tag. Name, basically an attribute. The attribute name, instead of giving a legit name XYZ, I call it JavaScript :alert1. The name is JavaScript :alert1. And then on load is an event handler. Here you see, this is interesting. I used URL is equal to name. What happened? What is the value of name? The value of name is JavaScript :alert1. And I am assigning the URL the name. It resulted in an alert1. But again, URL is equal to name. It has 8 characters. Alert1 has 8 characters. We need to do the job in 7 characters. This is a challenge. We solved it. How? After some testing, I realized that in IE browser, the IE browser is amazing basically. Instead of using name attribute, you can use any alphabet. You can use A, you can use B, you can use C, A to Z, any alphabet. So what I did here in this attack vector, I used iframe, then I. Previously I was using name. I is JavaScript :alert1. Then on load, URL is equal to I. Now count characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did the job in 5 characters. They are blocking 7 characters. So in IE we can do the job, we can execute accesses in 5 characters in that way. But the next problem is that iframe is blocked. That stuff is working in iframe. iframe on load, name or IE. What should I do next? Here we go with the style. Because the same thing also works with the style tag. The same thing that works with iframe tag, it was blocked, but it also works with the style tag. If you will closely see, I basically make it bold, the vector. It's a style, %2f, then there is I. You can use A, you can use B, anything. Again, see the problem. JavaScript is blocked. What I have to do, instead of using A, I did the decimal encoding form of A. It becomes %26, %23, 97. It becomes JA, B, JavaScript confirm confirm 1, and then on load, here you see URL is equal to I. Okay, you are blocking, you are not allowing more than 7 characters. We did the job in 5 characters. Game is over for them. So, just for your information, after all those bypasses, after all those fixes, right now, Sucuri is still vulnerable to an excessive. Go and find it. And if someone has an expertise in SQLi, SQL injection, my personal observation, I can be wrong, I may be wrong, you can play cat and mouse game. You can start, you can come here next year and give a talk on cat and mouse game with SQLi on Sucuri. So it's a good test bed. It will enhance your learning skills specifically. And for the images that I am using in this presentation, the credit goes to Google Image Search. And thanks for your attention and listening. That's all folks. But wait, 1 minute. But the question, isn't cat and mouse a never-ending game? I will now need 2 more minutes. Cat and mouse is a never-ending game. It's never ends. Keep calm, because the new game has just begun. What is the new game? And this time the target is Barracuda. Barracuda is a big fish. Barracuda is basically a big fish. Big fish in a sense, it's mind-blowing basically. Fortune 1000 companies, they have in more than 100 countries, they have 150,000 organizations that are using Barracuda at the moment. Sucuri is only in use on 10,000 websites. But the Barracuda is 150,000 websites, organizations all over the world, including Hyundai also. We are also using Barracuda. Let's see. There is a bypass, number 1, for the Barracuda. It's basically details on toggle. Chrome 1, confirm 1, because again the same problem. Barracuda also had a hard-coded list of event handlers, and they forgot about on toggle. On toggle is a new attribute that is basically part of Chrome. So it resulted in a bypass. Second vector is basically on search, a new event handler. This was also not part of Barracuda blacklisted list of event handlers. The third one is basically on show. It was not part of it. I reported this to Barracuda, and Barracuda on 25th of May had released a new version, and it fixed on search, on show, and on toggle. These 3 are fixed, but it's a cat and mouse game. So, and they have added my name in the Hall of Fame. From bypass number 4 to counting continues. Right now the count is at 12. I cannot tell you because they are working on the fixes, and I hope I will increase the counter again and again. So, and before conclusion, some few words on our HTML sex sweeper. In our PhD research, basically, one of my students did a thesis, and I was his supervisor. And the thesis was about HTML sex sweeper, because the goal is that I want to automate myself. The way how I find an XSS, I want that tool will find an XSS for on behalf of me. And we run our research tool HTML sex sweeper against top 500 sites in the world, Alexa top 500. In Alexa top 500, the unique sites are 390, the others is repetition. For example, google.com, google.de, google.italy, google.spain, it's all part of top 500. But if you will make a unique list, it becomes 390. And right now, when I'm here and we are talking here, 40% of the top sites are vulnerable to cross-site scripting at the moment. My tool, or our tool, HTML sex sweeper, was able to find 527 unique XSSs in 3 common contexts in an automated way, completely automated way. Just feed him a URL. It will do the job. Now, the conclusion. XSS is everywhere. It is not going anywhere. If you know about XSS, if you can find XSS, your jobs are secure. It was there and it will be there. I tweeted this thing 2 years ago, and the same thing I am repeating right now. It is there. Right now, 527 XSS are there in Alexa top 500 websites. And this time, the real thanks. Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, Ashar. As always, a very interesting presentation on bypassing this web application.
Any question, if you have?
Any questions? If you have any questions, ¿alguna pregunta?
Ashar, at some point did you ask the manufacturers of these web application firewalls why they do not put in quoting on all input received from the end user?
Why they do not put?
Quoting.
Coding means?
Quote. So any backslash, any percent, any...
Encoding. You mean encoding?
Encoding, yes.
Okay. Or escaping. Okay.
Escaping.
Yeah. Okay. In my personal opinion, if you would like to have WAF can be one layer of protection. WAF, Web Application Firewall, can be only one layer of protection, and it should not be the only protection. It should not. All cross-site scripting should be fixed inside the application by only following the basics. The basics are very simple. Filter input, encode output. That's it. No one can access you. But the problem, no one knows the basics. Honestly speaking, that's why these accesses are there. Because people don't know the basics. Access was discovered in 2000, 15 years ago. But after 15 years ago, I'm doing PhD in accesses. And accesses is still there, 527 accesses in top site. At the same time, at a firewall level, it would be very hard to escape. Because escaping and encoding should be done inside the application. At the firewall level, it's the nature basically. They have to look at fixed signatures based on some regular expressions. And I would not say use this firewall, don't use this firewall, use firewall. But don't use it as the only protection. Okay, you can use firewall, it will be add a layer of protection to your web application, but it should not be the only one. And always make sure filter input and encode output, because if you are even filtering and you forgot about encoding, you never know where it appears back. So recently I found, in fact not recently, but 2 months ago, I was at SAP headquarters, and in front of SAP security team, 300 people from SAP security all over the world were there. I broke their filter, SAP filter, and I realized the filter is in use in 200 sites. Right now 200 sites are vulnerable only because of this filter. So, and the fix is not easy. If you are a big company, the fix is not easy. It will take a lot of time. Since 2 months they are working on the fix, and they inform me it takes at least 2 to 3 more weeks until the fix will be in place. But the next question, even if they will fix it, then the question, how many websites will update that fix? This is another story. But for me, if anyone is interested in cross-site scripting, his job is secure. Cross-site scripting is there. Just stick to the basics, and at the firewall level, it would be hard to escape. They normally follow, but one can escape it, but then it will result in a false positive also. It can affect. So fix should be done inside the application. Any other question if someone had? I'm on Twitter, so you can ask any question on the Twitter. Slides are available online. If anyone is interested in cross-site scripting, any question, feel free to ping me anytime. Thank you guys. Thanks.